What's happening, boys? It's Svibak here, and welcome to another Flappy Bird episode. This one is a little different than Cedric's Road to 100. We're still going to be doing that one, but I wanted to get this one out of the way. It might be a continuing series, it might not be. I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. Let me know if you want to continue seeing this, but I am essentially calling this Flappy Bird Flight Academy. Now, I don't consider myself the greatest Flappy Bird player in the world, but I like to think that I'm better than most, and that's not me being cocky. That's just me having like a Chief Warrant Officer status within the Flappy Bird community. My high score is 146, as you can see here on this screen. Or maybe you can't see it right there. Hold on. You'll be able to see it when I crash, because I mean it's inevitable. You can't go forever in this game. But you will see that my high score is 146, which is actually pretty sweet. I've hit platinum status, which is actually fucking pretty cool. But before we go any further, I would just like to say thank you so much for the support on the latest video. We hit like 6K views, which is nuts for my channel size. You guys really seem to enjoy it. A lot of comments, a lot of likes. If we could smash 250 likes on this episode, that would be fucking epic. Subscribe button is somewhere here on the screen. At SvibukHD is my Twitter handle, so you know when I'm going to McDonald's and ordering like a million McCafes and that sort of thing. But anyway, boys, this is Flappy Bird. Honestly, it is currently one of my favorite games at the moment. I mean, obviously I do FIFA and Grand Theft Auto, but this is such a fun game to play with just when you just got some downtime. But for those of us that are a little tired of getting 15, 20, 25, what I like to call amateur scores, that's no disrespect for people that get that, I'm gonna try and help you guys get to the semi-pro level. That's anywhere between 50 and 75, and hopefully we guys can get you to the pro level, which anything over 100, anything over 99 is what I consider pro, according to esports.com. Now, I'm going to die really quickly just so I can show you my high score. That is my high score right there, 146. I'm not really boasting. I'm just trying to show you guys that I've got a little bit of credibility and somewhat know what I'm talking about. You're going to notice first thing is that I am playing with no sound on. There's a strategic reason for that. Is a gun as scary when you can't hear the sound? Of course it's not. Part of the mental game. This is a mental game. It's not exactly, a lot of hand-eye is involved, that's for sure, but a lot of it is also mental. So when you can take out a bunch of factors like the sound of the flapping, the sound of hitting the freaking poles or the ground, it is demoralizing, and you don't want to hear that. So I just, I'll put on the Gladiator soundtrack, I'll put on the Titanic soundtrack or something really chill like that, maybe some Enya. I'll blast some Enya on, something really, really chilled out. Maybe Hippie Sabotage, that's actually a pretty sweet song. So the first lesson, boys, we're going to talk about something called terrain masking. Now, I have no military experience whatsoever, so let's not get that twisted. But there's a technique that military helicopters implement called terrain masking. It's called low altitude flying, and that's kind of the mentality we want to adapt when we're playing this game. Don't go for high altitude. You want to stay as far away from the higher pole as possible. You want to be hugging the terrain. You want to be terrain masking the entire time. There you go. Our first attempt, we hit 54. Not too shabby, if I might say so myself. We're going to try and hit 100 in one of these attempts. Now, the mark of a true champion is someone that can explain something very precise whilst also playing the game. So I'm going to do my best to stay alive while explaining some fairly nuanced aspects to what appears to be a very simple game in Flappy Bird. So what I might do for a tutorial, I didn't even think about it, but what I might do for these tutorials is I'll do post-com. So I'll play the game, try and get as many high scores as I can, and then do post-commentary over it as opposed to live commentary. I just like to get you guys some of the reactions when I die. Now, I'm very much in tutorial mode, so I'm not going to freak out if I die. I am essentially just trying to teach you guys a couple lessons. Now, let's stick with the low altitude terrain masking. Like I said, it is a strategy that military grade helicopters implement, and that is one that I found helpful in just creating a mental image of what we're trying to do. Low altitude. Just keep repeating it as you're playing in the back of your mind. Low altitude, low altitude, low altitude. Also, the weight of the bird, the physics, the gravity and the physics engine in this particular game. I know it's crazy. It's 8-bit, right? So how complicated can it be? But you'll notice the first thing is that the bird feels heavy. Cedric, in my view, or whatever you call your bird, will feel very heavy in the game because it's being drawn to the ground a lot heavier than it is being lifted in the air. You have to tap quite a bit to get him going. Look, if you do a continuous tap, you're just keeping him level. If you let off for just a second, he's going to hit that fucking ground running, boys. And lastly, the last thing in this tutorial we're going to talk about is the Pelican dive. Now, we're going to try and get to an area where I can exactly show you guys what I mean when I say Pelican dive. But it's one of the more difficult maneuvers within Flappy Birds. Right there, that was the Pelican dive. In a nutshell, that was the Pelican dive. That steep drop, that gets a lot of people a lot of the time. Now, the actual dive isn't what causes the most crashes in Flappy Bird. It's the actual uptake. So there you go. That swing right there. I was just showing an example. People are going to hit that top pole a lot of times coming out of that Pelican dive. Now, Pelican dive is just something I've kind of coined. It's a phrase that I've kind of used to capture what I feel that maneuver is all about, because that's actually what Pelicans do.
This is Chief Warrant Officer Tribak. We're about to take off, and we're going to be clear comms for the entire flight just to see how high a score we can get. Over. This is Chief Warrant Officer Tvebak. We crashed and burned at 68 points. We had no comms, so we were able to play complete attention to the mission at hand. Over.
So as you guys can see there, if I'm paying strict attention to the game, I'm able to get about 68. I think that's probably about my average. Every other 5 games or so, I'm able to hit 80 plus, and then sometimes, every 2 out of 10 times I'll get 100 plus. Well, that about wraps it up for the first episode of Flappy Bird Flight Academy. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you maybe learned something out of this. Let me know in the comment section below if you want to see more of this particular series. We'll still be doing Cedric's Road to 100, where we do 10 attempts and try to get to 100 points. And also, obviously, going to be doing daily GTA videos. It's just a matter of getting together with the gang, but we're going to be getting it going. Los Piglets are going to be hitting the streets of Los Santos hard. Let me know what you think about this. Hit that like, subscribe button. Till next time, boys and girls, choose later, ade. 86 is my high score. Name your freaking Flappy Bird, boys. If you want to name your Flappy Bird, it creates an inseparable bond between human and virtual animal. Usually if you don't name the bird, it's just some fucking